S tier is the pinnacle of our rankings. To get S tier, the chair needs to be almost perfect. I've only given this ranking to 3 chairs, one of them being the Herman Miller Embody. Today, we're going to find out how the Steelcase Gesture and the Anthros chair stack up against my S tier picked Embody. When comparing 3 chairs that are being considered for S tier, we are likely going to be over that $1,000 mark, and that's definitely going to be the case with the fully loaded Gesture being at about $1,700, the Embody being at $1,995, and the Anthros chair coming in at around $2,000 as well. Let's find out if the price tag is worth it for you. While these 3 chairs are all among the highest priced chairs available, that's where the similarities end. Starting with the seats, we see 3 very different seat designs. First, look at the Gesture because it has the most standard seat. The Gesture has a traditional padded design. The pad is very good quality, but it's certainly on the thinner side. What I like most about the Gesture seat is how flexible it is. It almost feels like it doesn't have a seat pan because it's so flexible towards the front. But even though the Gesture has the most flexible seat on this list, I do like the other 2 seats better because the Gesture feels a bit too thin for me toward the back of the pad. I also feel like the Gesture has a slight forward slant that I don't love. The Embody went in a different direction than the padded design on the Gesture. Instead, Herman Miller created a pixelated node system with a very small layer of foam to add some softness. The nodes react and support you based on your weight and shape. I find the system to be really good. I think it gives you the feeling of a nice mesh seat, but more comfortable and without the flex points that mesh has. Some people have said that they don't like how they can sometimes feel the individual nodes. I don't have that problem, but if you're worried about it, go with the gaming Embody because the foam and fabric make it feel a touch softer in the seat and back. While the Embody almost always has the most unique seat on any list, that may not be the case when the Anthros chair is also featured. The Anthros seat may appear to be the most basic at first glance, but the thought that went into the seat is next level. It has a thick pad, which goes against everything we've been taught with ergonomics, but the one major change they made was to introduce cutouts in the area where your 2 sit bones would go. This allows you to have a super cush seat while not getting the compression on your sit bones and lower back. Another thing they did, which had not been done before with office chairs, was introduce a sublayer between the foam and fabric to make it almost slide. This prevents shear, which is friction that can occur from the chair and your skin. Anthros came from the medical field, and shear is a big deal with things like hospital beds, wheelchairs, etc. This high-level technology now exists in an office chair for the first time. The biggest weakness with the Anthros is going to be the lack of the seat depth adjustment. They help to make up for it with the back adjustment that they have, but it may not be perfect for everyone. Switching up the backrest, we'll start with the Anthros this time. Similarly to the seat, the back on the Anthros may be the most unique of the 3. Like the seat design, Anthros wanted to make something completely unique, and they did that. It features a 2-piece design with the lower section focusing on pelvis support and the upper section designed to support your mid and upper back. Now, you may have noticed that I said pelvis support instead of lumbar support. That was deliberate by Anthros, and it is their main differentiator. Instead of focusing on the lower curve of your back, the Anthros chair is meant to keep your pelvis pushed forward. The theory is that this will automatically align your back properly in an upright posture. The lower and upper sections are depth adjustable on their own, so you can position them to support each specific body type. I like the system a lot, but I do wish there was height adjustment on the upper section. It feels like it's a touch too high for me from where I really would like to have it. Just like the seat, the Embody uses the pixelated node system. The node system, paired with the thin back design, gives you an incredible amount of range of movement. Not only is it flexible, like almost nothing else on the market, but you can reach anywhere because of the thin backrest. The back angle adjustment also allows you to increase or decrease the angle of the backrest separately from the recline. This gives you the ability to work fully upright or recline almost all the way back. Personally, I love the Embody's backrest. I consider it top 3 all time. It doesn't have lumbar adjustment though, and it fits me well, but that could be a big problem, and it's the #1 complaint on the Embody's backrest. If the Gesture wasn't being compared to the Embody and the Anthros, we'd be talking about how unique it is, but the crazy thing is, that is about the closest thing to a standard looking back of the 3 chairs, but don't let that fool you. The Gesture does have live back technology and may offer the best overall support if you like a chair that has a full back design. The Gesture also does not lack flexibility, being right there with the Embody as having the most flexible backrests I've ever used. The Gesture also has height adjustable lumbar support, which neither of the other 2 chairs offer. The Gesture has the least amount of lower back support of the 3, but it's still plenty supportive, and I find the backrest to be very comfortable. Arms can be tricky to design just because going too far out of the box or making them too adjustable can ruin them for some chairs. While these 3 chairs have some of the most unique technology we've seen, they did keep the arms pretty standard. The Embody has the most basic arms with just height and width adjustment. This is going to be the one biggest knock on the chair. Most arms in this price range will have 4-way adjustment. Herman Miller makes up for the lack of adjustment with massive arm pads. They're flat and soft. I think they are some of the most comfortable arms out there. They also have really big ranges. While they only go up and down, they do go high enough to use your phone, low enough to be completely out of the way, and they have one of the largest width adjustment ranges I've seen on any chair. While some people don't like that the arms only have 2 adjustments, there is a positive to this design. They're more solid. There's less room for wiggly arms or arms that can move when you don't want them to because the pads are not adjustable. That's going to be my only complaint with the next chair's arms, the gesture. The gesture is best known for its arms. They are unique because they have a cantilever design, which gives them height and width ranges that are only rivaled by the Embody, but they also have fully adjustable arm pads. The gesture is up there with the most adjustable arms I've ever seen. They can really do it all, but this does create the potential to have the arm pads slide on you when you don't want them to. It's part of the trade-off with having some super highly adjustable arms. They are really comfortable though, not only because you can position them anywhere you want, but the pads are flat and soft. The Anthros chair has a great arm package, like the Embody and the gesture, but I do feel that the arm pads are a bit lacking compared to the other 2. They have less surface area because they're rounded on the top. This prevents any edges, but does make them feel a bit smaller. While not quite as soft as the other 2, they are more comfortable than most chairs that I've used. One thing I really like is that the arms are more solid than the gesture while still having 4-way adjustment. They don't have quite the same range, and the width adjustment is a bit clunky with the lever underneath the seat, but again, if it wasn't being compared against the gesture, it'd be beating most other chairs on the market. All 3 chairs will have a pretty different recline experience, with the gesture having a synchro tilt design that does have a seat that slides out and forward. Now, the gesture is very similar to the Leap in that it does much better in static positions. The recline range is very, very good, and it has multiple stops, which is amazing, and the tension very responsive and easy to access, but it's not going to have the smooth rocking motion that we see on other chairs with more of a knee tilt or a rocking type motion. It's going to be much better for static positions. If you are doing tasking or heavy computer work, it might be better for you. When flipping over to the Anthros has more of a knee tilt adjustment, meaning that it's going to tilt from just underneath your butt and then downwards. Now, one thing that I don't love about the Anthros adjustment is that you cannot really use the full range due to the tension, either kind of forcing you in the first half or the back half. So again, very good range, multiple tilt stops, but the tension is not quite as responsive as that gesture. When looking at the Embody, I think this is as good as it gets. It's right there with the Aeron for me as the most comfortable recline that I've seen on any chair. You get multiple stops, you get great tension control, and you get a huge range that is super smooth, and it has a nice deep recline rocking motion that almost makes you want to continuously move in the chair because it is so smooth and because it is so comfortable. The headrest crown is going to the gesture on this one, mainly because it's the only one that has a headrest option, but with that being said, the headrest on the gesture is awesome. One of the best I've ever seen. The adjustment ranges are great, so you can use the headrest relaxed or upright through the entire recline range, and you can also just move it out of the way. The headrest holds its position well without any loose or wiggling parts, and it's very easy to adjust from the sitting position. The headrest has good padding and soft fabric, just like the seat and back. Overall, this is one of the very few headrests I've used that I would place in S tier. The Herman Miller Embody has already achieved S tier status for me. Will the Anthros and the gesture be pushed up there as well? The Anthros for me is a bit short. I'm going to keep it in that A tier just because I'm not super comfortable with that upper backrest, and it is lacking a bit of that tension adjustment that I need in the recline. The gesture is about as close as you can get for me with that headrest addition. It's the most amazing headrest I've seen on a high-end chair, but the seat, the slant forward, the thin pad in the back is going to keep me at an A++. If they could just increase that thickness on the seat just a tad in the back, this would be an S tier pick for me. But for now, we've got 2 A's and then that Embody in that S tier.